We're here in Monte Carlo for the Rendez-Vous de Septembre. For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks. And I'm joined now by Scott Egan, who's CEO of SiriusPoint. Scott, it's great to see you again. Welcome.
Good to be back, Richard. Thank you for having me.
So it's been another busy year since we spoke at last year's Monte Carlo, including a rating upgrade. So congratulations on that. But we're here to look forward. So what can we expect in the months to come?
Well, look, we're delighted with the ratings upgrade, so thank you very much. Look, for us at SiriusPoint, we're delighted with the progress that we've made, but there is absolutely no complacency. We've seen our top line now grow for 5 consecutive quarters, which is actually a real strong evidence point that we're doing the right thing for customers. We've now had 11 consecutive quarters of underwriting profit. So look, things are heading in the right direction. So for us, I think it's more of the same. We want to keep making sure that we are listening to our customers, doing the right thing, building the right products, protecting the risks that they want to protect, and obviously keep making money for our shareholders. But of course, the world always throws some curveballs,
Yes.
and I'd love to say that was easy. I promise you it's not, but we're going to do our absolute best to continue with the momentum that we've had.
Do you have a sense as to where we are in the reinsurance cycle?
It's the most talked about thing, and I was lucky enough to join your presentation yesterday, and I think there's a really important graph that you showed there, which is we've only made money 2 out the last 5 years, and I think we really mustn't forget that. And if you go back to 2023, when we had to fight incredibly hard to recalibrate the property cat rates, I think we need to be very careful that we don't reverse back. I think investor confidence would be hugely impacted if we did that. And then beyond property, I think in casualty, I think the rates are okay. But of course, the big exam question is, are the rates okay for the trends that we're seeing? And on paper, I think it looks okay for the more recent years. But of course, I'm afraid the cost of manufacture isn't known for quite a few years. So that's obviously the continuing question, but rates are okay in that space. And then I think for the specialist lines, everyone's slightly different. There are certain lines that need more rate. I would say aviation is a great example where, you know, we're carrying more rate in the marketplace. But look, all in all, I think the market is in an okay place, but let's not take it to somewhere we don't want it to be.
No, exactly. So, Scott, when we're here in Monte Carlo, we typically talk a little bit about MGAs. MGAs still seem to be very much the flavour of the month. Can you give us your insight onto where we are in that stage?
I don't think they're the flavour of the month, Richard. I think they're the flavour of the decade. Yeah, and I mean that actually seriously. Strategically, both in Europe and in the US, it's been the fastest growing distribution channel. And so I think, you know, MGAs and their influence on the marketplace are here to stay. At SiriusPoint, we've aligned ourselves with that distribution channel. Around 60% of our income comes via MGAs. We choose them very carefully, and they choose us as well. So it's not just a one-way thing. But we believe that if you can partner with really strong underwriting MGAs, and we can bring as an insurer wider data to the party, then we think that's a winning recipe. And everything that we're doing at SiriusPoint is trying to align us to the distribution channel to make it an absolute success. And of course, that's been a big driver of our growth over the past sort of 12 to 18 months.
But MGAs aren't immune to the turning of the reinsurance cycle. Do you get a sense as to what changing conditions might mean for MGAs?
Yeah, no, they're not immune. Of course they're not. I think good MGAs will always find capacity. And I think that's true probably in life in general. But look, I think good MGAs who can show a solid underwriting track record and performance, I think they will always find a willing and able reinsurance market. And of course, we operate with both hats, both as a reinsurer and an insurer. So I think that will always exist.
So you talked about data a lot and the use of data. Inevitably, when you're talking about data, you know, thoughts turn to AI. Do you have a sense as to the opportunities that AI can bring to insurers and reinsurers and the market generally?
I don't think we've really scraped the surface of what it can do. The thing I would say, Richard, I think every single company in the world is doing stuff, investing money, trying things out. But I still think we're at the trying things out phase. I was at a dinner last night and we were having that exact conversation. I don't think I've seen AI in our sector, what I would call fundamentally shift what we do and how we do it. Can I see the potential that it could? Hugely. Do we have to keep investing in it? Yes, we do. but I don't think that the exploration yet has borne what I would call a fundamental shift in how we do business. But listen, there are people who are much more intelligent than me, Richard, and younger, right, who can definitely probably answer that question better.
That's a great answer, nonetheless. Thank you. One final question, Scott, if I may. What issues are being missed now that are going to be most important in the future?
Yeah, look, it's a great question, and Monte Carlo is always great because it's a very efficient way by which you can tap into what's on people's minds, and certainly I always get a lot from it, and I learn a lot as well. I think the one topic that we have to worry about as an industry as well as individual companies is that war for talent. And I think that our sector, and I'm afraid I'm one of them, is an aging one. Yeah. And I think we have to be very careful that we're doing enough to attract future talent to our industry and our sector. And that includes, for example, the question you asked me earlier on AI, etc. That's a whole different mindset, skill set. And so I think the one thing we need to do more about is make sure that we're doing everything we can to attract the world's best talent to our industry. I think if we do that, we'll be in good shape.
Scott, it's always a great pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
For Invest TV, I'm Richard Banks.